You don't, you don't, you don't see me yet. I'm gonna have that be my intro one day. Yo, my name is Marcus Russell, and this is the Marcus Russell Show. Yo, former New York Representative George Santos, he left the Republican Party last year, but he had vowed to take ultra Trump supporting values to the ballot as an independent. And then he wrote a bunch of mean stuff about Trumpito and the Republican Party on Twitter X as he suspended his petition from being a Republican to an independent. To be exact, he said, and I quote, I, in good conscience, cannot affiliate myself with a party that stands for nothing and is willing to fall for anything. Yeah, that's what he said, YouTube. This Fruit Loop was not a good look for the Republican Party anyway. Yo, and I just wanted to speak, I just wanted to let y'all know that before I got to roasting this little fruit fly ass, little cross dressing ass. Not only does Santos make himself a horrible looking woman. But it turns out he's also a horrible family member, friend, and business partner. And now, instead of being the state's representative, George Santos will be property of the state. Yep, for 87 months. That's right, he's going to prison, you too. I find it so peculiar that someone who said that the Republican Party will stand for anything is sentenced for identity theft and fraud. That's so crazy. I'm done checking. It's not crazy because I can imagine that he had identity crisis. Because first, he didn't know whether he wanted to be a Republican or independent. He doesn't know whether he's a man or a woman. For real. I'm sure he doesn't know if he's a man or woman, but I'm sure once he get to prison, he's gonna realize, yeah, no, you're not a man anymore. You're gonna be a woman. They're gonna completely convert you, buddy. Straight to woman. And straight up. But really, is prison even a punishment for George? You know what I'm saying? That'll be like locking me up in a women's prison. I mean, sure, it's jail, but I think I can handle it. Don't ask me why. Anyway, he not only betrayed his constituents by scheming his campaign finances, but he also stole money from several of his family members and his friends, and pocketed the money upwards to $1 million. YouTube. Hey, look, he stole from elderly people, even physically impaired people. This is what he would do. He would take, like, if you made a campaign donation, he would just keep that credit card number and make some more donations. For real. Do you know that before his conviction, he started a podcast called Pants on Fire with George Santos? The nerve. The nerve. And who the fudge would listen to this fraudulent fruitcake? For real. But yeah, like I said, he'll literally like keep the donors card numbers, make more donations to his campaign. Then he'll use the company money for paying rent, for luxury vacations, and even cosmetic treatment. That's right, New Jersey. Y'all pay for George Santos's big booty. That's right, he got a big booty. For real. I know the inmates gonna appreciate that, but America, we find it disgusting. For real. It's horribly, horribly. Anyway. Typically, this type of crime would carry like 2 years, but the gravity of the deception was so malicious that the New York AG demanded that the judge throw the book at Santos. Yep, this man, woman, he is done. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Yo, straight up, fags love me, and I say fag for real. I'm like a grand prize that they know they can never win. How do I know? I used to live in Atlanta. It's a culture shock. I lived there, and yo, it's as if these punks, as if they don't have it hard enough. You see what I say? Hard, like they don't got it hard enough. Now this freaking fruit fly wants to add another stigma into the long list of innuendos that these people have to live with. And it's messed up. Now we're going to question, are all these fruit flies untrustworthy? And that's not true. That's just this one particular fruit fly. Straight up. But I personally don't trust any man without a mustache. I don't care if you wear a dress or not. Where is your stash? For real. If you cut your stash off, for real, that is just super suspicious. You need to have hair on top of your lip. Also, New York, Y'all gotta cut it out with making these weird. It's y'all who keep voting these quacks in the office. Letitia James, she was voted, elected. That judge, I forget his name. AOC, y'all voted her in there. Yeah, look, have y'all not learned y'all lesson yet? For real, yo. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get right to the video.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow even more breaking news. Former Representative George Santos has been sentenced to 87 months in prison. This just coming into our newsroom here on Live Now from Fox. And he served in Congress for barely a year before being ousted back in 2023 by his House colleagues. He pleaded guilty last summer to federal wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. Santos admitted to deceiving donors and stealing the identities of nearly a dozen people, including his family members, to fund his winning campaign. As part of a plea deal, Santos has agreed to pay roughly $580,000 in penalties in addition to prison time. Some more information for you. Prosecutors were seeking 7 years in federal prison for Santos, arguing in recent court filings that he, quote, remains unrepentant and has not shown genuine remorse despite what he claims. They cite recent comments Santos has made on social media in which he casts himself as a victim of overreach. In a letter to the court this week, Santos stressed that he remains, quote, profoundly sorry for his crimes, but objects to the sentence being sought, which he has said was overly harsh. If you are just joining us here on Live Now from Fox, we are bringing you this breaking news that ex-U.S. Representative George Santos now sentenced to 7+ years behind bars. I did want to share a little bit more of the backstory here. As Santos was elected back in 2022, and he flipped a wealthy district representing parts of Queens and Long Island for the GOP. Soon after, though, it was revealed that the political unknown had fabricated much of his life story, painting himself as a successful business owner who worked at a prestigious Wall Street firm and held a valuable real estate portfolio. But in reality, Santos was struggling financially and even faced eviction. I do want to share a look right now outside of the courthouse where we can see the media running, and we can see Santos also appears to be running away from the media.
Yo. So after the conviction, they didn't lock him straight up. He got to come back and turn himself in and go to jail. But he got right back on Twitter and asked Trumpito, would he consider pardoning him? Listen, George, I know Trumpito. And yeah, I know he got them January 6th Patriots out. He got them out. He got rappers like Kodak Black and Lil Wayne out. He had drug kingpins like Southwest T, Big Meech from BMF, his big brother. He pardoned him. And even one of my hard R's, his name is John Crawford. He's not even famous. He had 6 more years to do in prison recently, and he's about to come home. You know what I'm saying? Soon. I think June. Trumpito did that. But you, George, you most likely not getting pardoned, you little parakeet. For real. If anything, you'll mess around and get some more years if you keep on asking Trump for anything. Look, we don't like punks like you. You know what I'm saying? Fags don't like fags like you, George. I know you married. You know what I'm saying? But you need to this is what you need to do. Ch- Break that marriage off for a while. When you get to prison, find you one of them big black murderers who's doing life, snuggle up under him, and, maybe them gangbangers won't ride you like an amusement ride for 7 years straight. That's not funny. That is not funny. For real. But yo, just in case anybody is feeling sorry for him, let me add that I've lied on my resume before. This fool said he went to Yale, though. He's an idiot. Yo, he's a low life fruit fairy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a respectable homosexual. You know what I'm saying? And he's far from a real man. He's not a real man because real men don't steal from their family and friends. For real. Now, I know it's probably almost policy as a politician to take cookies out the cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? Until recently, when and Trump started snitching on everybody, I'm sure everybody used to do that. But any man who steals from their family, straight up, that is not a man. You're not a man if you steal from your family. There's nothing funny about that. Or tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.